My name is Zach, and over here we have Kgomotso, and we have our special guest for today, Sandy B, hailing all the way from Durban, South Africa. Join me in making you feel welcome. Before I start, I want to acknowledge the Wurundjeri and Wurrung people of the Kulin Nation as the owners of the land which we operate, where sovereignty was never ceded. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. Sandy, welcome to Australia. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and thank you very much for having me here. First time in Australia, and thanks to everyone who's right here in front of me. Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome.
Go, danko.
I know when I came past the hotel today, you said you were a bit tired. Tell us what the last week has unfolded for you. We know you played in Bangkok,
Yeah.
Shanghai.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. How's that experience?
It was really amazing. I've always looked forward to playing in Asia, and this was the first time in Australia, and I've always wanted to come to Australia. It's been good. It was wonderful. You know, everywhere I go, usually I don't imagine anything. I'm always like, yeah, I'll see when I get there. You know what I mean? It's all going to be about the connection and how we exchange the vibe with the people. So Bangkok was amazing. They wanted more. Surprisingly, coming there for the first time. It was really good. Very hot as well.
The weather's crazy over there.
Yeah. I thought
Always
I was
need to be in a
bringing
pool or a
some heat
shower
there,
or
and then
something.
it was like double heats. I was like, damn. So it was good, and then I moved on to China. Also, first time in China. Always look forward to playing in China, and it was really amazing. It was the same kind of atmosphere, the response, and everything was like super cool. Now I'm here in Australia. It's beautiful. I mean, I've always wanted to meet people here. I know the music scene here is really huge, and I always see these posters on social media, all the artists from different parts of the world coming here, and I'll be like, maybe one day.
Maybe one day.
Maybe I'll just
And
wait.
now you're here.
I'll just wait, and yeah, I am. And I was also expecting to see one kangaroo crossing the streets, and I'm still.
Why does
disappointed.
everyone think that there's kangaroos when they come to Melbourne? We live in a city, so...
Well, we gotta hit you with what people always hit you with as well, which people hit us with also, people always think when they come to South Africa we have lions in the backyard and elephants
safari
and everything,
tours.
and you know what I mean? Yeah, something like that. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, it's good. I love Australia. I love it here.
Did you have any impressions when you came to Australia, or any pre-knowledge about what things could look like or feel like?
Well, as I say, most of the time I just see when I get to the other side. You know, I always like to surprise myself. One thing that I always check most of the time is where I'm going to play, the area where I'm going to stay, and then the rest of it, I always want it to be a surprise. It's actually the same even in the city where I come from. I can't say I know every place in my city, because at some point I want to go out and have fun in a new place. So I'm always like, let me not go that direction. I'll go there when I want to surprise myself. So I'm like that, you know what I mean?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want to touch on your experience in growing up in South Africa, particularly Durban, and what was that like for you? What was your upbringing like?
I grew up in the western part of Durban in the township called Hammersdale. Well, my upbringing in that place was cut short because of the era when we were faced with this hard situations of apartheid violence and all those kind of things. So I grew up, and when things were getting really bad, I had to move to find another safer space. I went to a different township. I was taken by a family friend who lived in a township called Chesterville. which was a little bit calmer at that particular time because things were getting quite rough quite rough in my city. And so when I left, I thought things were going to get calmer at some point, and then go back there without knowing that that was the last time I see the place I was called home, where I was born. So I ended up growing up with maybe half relatives, friends, my family. My mother moved as well when things got rough and went to other parts of the city, and we lost connection for some time. So from that time, I was really young. I was getting into the teenage, what's it called? I was becoming a teenager. So I learned to do things on my own. From that time, like all my high school life, I was taking care of myself, paying school fees with maybe money that I used to make from temporal jobs and stuff like that. And yeah, I got myself involved in many good positive things in the township, like music. I also did Kung Fu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, can't touch me. Yeah, so I was active in many positive things in the township, but basically, from when I was a teenager, I was already taking care of myself without support until things got calmer in places, and then I started moving to town. Rented my own apartment in the city. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm from the south as well, like you. Obviously, Kwaito, like without South Africa, I mean, without Kwaito. Sorry, my English is like yours. It's broken. It's good, So it's.
So I have a broken English.
I think so. Yeah, yeah. Not in that.
Broken
in that
squad.
it's because we speak more
No,
language.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So
yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
So I will try to, so people can hear me and stuff. But
Yeah.
obviously, like with Kwaito music, where in your life you thought that this is it, like this is the music that will liberate this country?
I was coming from the background of other styles of music because I did a little bit of R&B. In the beginning of the 90s, where America was influencing everyone with rap and R&B and stuff like that. I did a little bit of that, and also did gospel music. I started recording when I was still in high school with the groups in the township where I grew up, my schoolmates and stuff like that, doing gospel music. So I always had that versatility, could switch from this to that. I did also classical music. But when Kwaito came about, it was around 1993. It was fairly new in Johannesburg. Just a few artists doing it. And that was when we were getting into democracy as well. Yes, so the message that we also tried to push, most of the artists, because we were censored, so we always tried to have lyrics that are not so obvious, but you have, that are like, that talk about the issues that were happening, but also trying not to be in trouble with the system, because we didn't know what's going to happen next. I mean, people were, other political prisoners were out from prison, and who also wanted to avoid going to the prison for singing lyrics that were very sensitive. But it was a time where, such things happened. And in my city, there was no one doing it. It was just the few artists in Johannesburg at that time, and fortunately they had resources, all the resources, as you know, Johannesburg has like TV, media, and all those kind of things that make it more easier for people to get out there. So in my city, there was no one doing it, and less resources, and yeah, I am not even having like a proper home at the time, and I said, let me try this out. Actually, there was a time when there was a guy called Arthur. You know Arthur. So I was performing in Durban. There was a big beauty contest there, and a friend of mine used to play for the cast called Sarafina. I don't know if you all know Sarafina. Yeah, it was touring the world a lot at that time. Then he was sitting next to me. He said, Sandy B Jr. I used to call myself Sandy B Jr. to be cool. You know, like Ray Parker Jr. You know, Jr. sounded nice, you know, when you put in the end. So maybe let's do this, man. You can do this. I said, yeah. Then I did it. But when I started to do Kwaito, it was also more about being someone who is going to lead in the province, to say, okay, now there's someone doing it in KwaZulu-Natal, in Durban, while everyone else is doing it in Joburg with all the resources. So I tried my way, and then it worked. I did my first song, which was Amajovi Jovi. When I did Amajovi Jovi, I'll just give you a little bit of a story about that. I went to the studio, then I just played just a few keys, and then I took the beats home, and then I started to listen on a tape, and then the next day I went back to the studio to lay the vocals. When I finished that, I went straight to the club. There was a club close by, and it was called Genesis Club Genesis. It was next to another one called Twilight Zone. If you know Student Nights, then you'll know this. Yeah. So I went straight to the club from the studio to ask the DJ at 12 midnight to start the song, to start his set with my song. So he put it on. People were still chilled, you know, and then he put it on, and then he started with the siren, wee, and then everyone was like, hey, there's police around here, what's going on, hey? And then the beat started, and everyone just stood up, and then they danced like it was just an instant hit, and everyone started to make noise. Sandy B, it was right from there, because actually the DJ also announced it, that it was Sandy B. So from that, it gave me even more encouragement to say, okay, now it's happening. I don't have resources. I don't have finances. I don't have a label, while most of the Joburg guys have labels. They have resources. They have TV. They could just walk to the studios and be on TV. Boom, they're famous. So it started from there. So, and then everyone started to pay attention to Sandy P as well as their hope, to say, oh, okay, even if you're not in Johannesburg, things can happen. So I just said, okay, now that's the time. I don't know if I've said so much more than the question you asked.
Where did the name for Kwaito come from? How was it coined?
Kwaito.
Yeah.
Kwaito. To is township, Kwai is Kwai, for like Kwai. You know, when you sing like with the attitude, like angry. Yeah. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so that's where Kwaito actually came from. But it was more about slowing down the house beats of that time and adding a few elements of this and that. And what was always good about that time, everyone tried to be different. Everyone was unique. You know, you could hear from the first beats that, oh, this one is that one. You know, yeah, it was mostly like that. But yeah, so yeah.
When I listen to Kwaito music, sometimes I feel like there's a big influence from New York in the house style.
Yes.
Have you ever been to New York, or has that New York house ever influenced your style of production or the way you approach things?
As I mentioned earlier, that I also tried to be in R&B, and being the guy who grew up in those years, I've always tried to have those elements that make the music a little bit timeless, because I didn't have the resources most of the guys had. You know, I thought maybe if my music get delayed to be heard by people, if they get it 10 years later, it must still sound something new. So I always borrowed some elements from music that is like really timeless.
Were there particular instruments that you were using to make the music?
Particular instruments?
Yeah, or hardware, or
Oh, back in the days, like it was like your normal MC50 Roland stuff, and yeah. But now things have advanced. We try this, we try that. But
do you make music on the computer ever?
yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Do you prefer it, or do you prefer hardware? What's your favorite thing?
Both. I'm exposed to both. I don't have a problem with any actually. Yeah.
Nice.
In terms of like Kwaito, obviously, even Kwaito liberated our country as youth. Kwaito people were not looked as good people. Some like in spaces they were like sort of gay topanzula, you know, like with the bucket head. I didn't bring my bucket head, but you know, like it's part of the signature of you being a panzola and stuff like that. So in terms of that, like back in those days, were you ever insecure that, damn, I'm a panzola and I'm liberating this country, that obviously our parents and we were talking about this earlier on, that they haven't had a chance to heal at the time, and then we coming and then we just have the energy to liberate this country. So have you ever ever be ashamed to be a Kwaito artist?
Not really, but where I get ashamed is when people represent the genre negatively, where it's you know, some people are not the same, you know, and quite a message can allow you to send different kinds of messages. You know, you can be clean, you can be dirty, you can be anything, you can be, you know. So my character is always about positivity. It's always about getting people together. It's always about non-racialism. It's always about anti-corruption and all those kind of things, where I feel that people need to live and be happy, you know, and get along, you know. That's my message. But the background where I come from and how I raised myself in difficult situations where I never wanted to see myself ending up in the streets and ending up not really knowing where I'm going because of my background, you know. So I always try to not to do stuff that will make people judge me in a negative way. I can't be perfect, yes, but unfortunately, Kwaito music, you find everything, a bit of everything, you know. So yeah, and yeah, I can also switch, you know, if I feel that it's not working, I can switch and add other elements and make it sound, it can be Kwaito and be something else, and then attract a different audience and run away from the stuff that is not wanted, if Kwaito is looked at as a rough ghetto kind of thing. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's culture as well.
Where were you on the 27th of April 1994?
27 April 1994, I performed my very first Kwaito gig in Durban, and I was the only one. Most of the artists came from Joburg. So actually, the poster was already up, and then I had to look for the organizers. I looked for them, and I told them, I don't see anyone from Durban here. And you're having a very big Kwaito bash in Durban. So what's up with that? And they said, yeah, we're gonna put it on. And I was the only one with a video camera. I'm the only person who take footages of that event. I was just a little bit way ahead. I don't know how come, but yeah, April 27, I played at the Freedom Day celebration in Village Green. That was the very first Kwaito bash in my province, in KZN. And Sandy P was the only one from the province, while everyone else was from Johannesburg.
What was the reception like to
Oh,
the show and the music?
man, 25,000
Around like that.
25,000 people, and people already knew Sandy
Was
P
it a
in the
big
streets.
stage?
Very big stage. And I was also working in the clothing industry. So I worked in a clothing store called Third Base, which was very funky. You know, and everyone wanted, you know, to associate themselves with that store. I was really lucky to work there, you know. So most celebrities would to come there, and every young people thought it was really cool to work there. I had dreadlocks like a brother there, muscles and stuff like that, training, and everyone wanted to see me and all those kind of things. So yeah.
What was the classic fit? What were the people wearing back then?
Come again?
What was the style at the time? Was it sort of like full tracksuit?
like how you
bucket
see people
hat,
on TV, like
gangster
that.
fit.
Yeah. So I was like that before everyone else. So everyone already knew Sandy P. You know, hey, that guy. So when I released the music, because even when Kengol came out, I was the first to wear a Kengol hat because I was told. LL Cool J had been sponsored in America, and then they wanted to give me Kengol because I was like this cool young boy and everything. So it was good. So when I played at that concert, many people were like, "Yeah, Sandy P, at least we have one of our own." Yeah, I was like the hero there. You know what I mean? So it was quite good, you know, and it was quite a good thing. So actually, where I worked in the clothing store, it was. Also, one of the places that introduced me to a lot of celebrities, because most of the people used to come there. And when I released my first project, I would have people queuing outside just to give me a hug. I'm like, hey, what's going on? And the store would close the doors. They want to shake hands and everything. I'm like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? But I didn't see that as something to say, yeah, I've made it or something like that. I was like wondering what was going on. But
it must have felt great, right?
I mean,
you know, your music being received in that way.
I like. It would be nice. It's nice when people like fame. I mean, it's people to recognize your work, and you are earning something from it. And you know, I'm not the type of a person who like to be crowded by people for fame, taking pictures, autographs, and everything. And my bank account is dry. It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't make sense. No,
sure,
let's be chill. Let's just be friends, because maybe you have better privileges, you have better money in the account, and I'm gonna end up pretending as if I'm this person, and then it's gonna depress me, and then I'm gonna start not doing like stuff like drinking beer in front of people. I just want to be myself, you know what I mean? Until maybe I know that I've made it, you know what I mean? Now I'm still in that process. I go around the world as currently, apparently, I'm the most touring Kwaito artist ever in South Africa. I don't know how that is happening. I still feel like it's still the beginning, you know. I'm still hustling, you know. I pay for my own flights. Sorry to maybe you said you pay for me. It's okay, but I pay for my own flights from South Africa to wherever, you know what I mean. But I use the kind of hustle that I used to do back in the days when I would leave my city going to Johannesburg, maybe to try and drop off a demo at a record company and take the train in the middle of the night for the whole night and go back to my city, maybe to work or something like that, or to school. You know, it's the same kind of the attitude that I use. While most of the artists had everything at their disposal, they had labels helping them out and everything else, you know. So it's the kind of attitude that never went out of my system. That, you know, I'll just keep on going and see how far I go. Now I find myself in Australia. I find myself in many countries, and I don't feel like, oh, I've made it. You know, it's like I'm just doing my thing. I'll see how it where it gets me. I'm not thinking of private jets. I want to have one, maybe. I'm not thinking of being like a multi-millionaire. Yeah, but it's good when you have some money, you get some money. You know what I mean?
Sure.
You know, it's good. I just keep on going. Some people might look at it and say, "Oh, a big schedule like this, many countries, this kind of big collaborations." For me, it's like I'm just going on, you know, just keep on going.
People don't understand sometimes the level of effort it requires to be a touring DJ, especially when you're self-independent, like you said as well.
Yes.
I want to touch on touring. When we chatted before, you said you started touring around 2017,
Yes.
and that was outside of South Africa.
Yes.
Who was the first person out of South Africa to book you?
It was Denmark.
Denmark.
It was the festival in Copenhagen called Distortion Festival.
Yeah.
Yes, and they made me the headline. I was there. I was there. I was like, oh, out of so many, it's a 3-day festival.
Yeah, right.
3-day festival, and they put me like one of the top guys, and I was like, damn, how am I going to do this? I was not prepared to do. So I got some dancers from South Africa. I hustled for some money. I put them on the flight so that I could present, like Pantula dancers present a very good thing, yeah. But from there it was like on and on and on and on, and amazingly you find people in the audience who try to say the words of the music, of your music, to show that they've been following your work for some time, and it's really amazing. Yeah.
And also when it comes to the language, and I'll also go back to 1994, April 27th. Most people who doesn't know, it was the first time South Africa got the right to vote. Like, for the first time a black man in South Africa voted was in 1994 on the 27th. So hence I wanted to find out like the joy and stuff like that. So when you see guys like Oskido or Manda Spekeri, you know, obviously Manda Spekeri being one of the pioneers of Kwaito,
Yeah.
in terms of beat making, owning their own stables like Kalawa Jasmine, they can now be able to distribute themselves into other countries and branching out. How do you feel about that, being that Kwaito was started by you guys, everyone from the township? Because it's the music from the township and then it went abroad. So I just want to find out from you, like, how do you feel when you hear that I'm going to Denmark for the first time because of Kwaito music?
Man, I always feel that we all have our own blessings, and they come in different ways. Some they have, as I was saying, some have privileges to be close to resources and stuff like that. Then I tried, as I say, I tried many times. I helped many artists as well from Joburg, like Kalawa. I helped Kalawa a lot in my city to push my stuff. Actually, they wanted to make me their marketing guy, but they didn't have money, and I needed money. I needed to pay rent in those years. I think 1998, Kalawa. They would bring me all the materials and stuff like that. Sometimes I'll go pick it up, posters and everything to push in Durban. But then again, it was they had. I'll say this. Many people don't know this. Many artists and labels, they didn't want to give these opportunities so much to the artists in KZN because they thought maybe their bread is going to, you know what I mean? Yeah, because that's why they made most of their money when they come out to our cities and everything, because they had TV. People like to see those guys they see on TV and stuff like that. We are always used as curtain raisers. So most of the time they wanted, we would help, but they didn't want us to be fully in the game, especially what I heard back in the days from people who were close to many people in Joburg. They would say, Sandy B is a big threat because he's doing this without all these resources, but if he gets a bigger chance, we are out, because it's going to empower more people in the province, and then they are going to lose business. Yeah, but I worked closely with Oskido. Actually, Oskido is the first guy who tried to get me signed in KZN under Kalawa. He introduced me to their partner Don Laka, but Don Laka at that time was busy with a group called Mango Groove, and then Oskido recommended me to. You spoke about Vinny Da Vinci. Yeah, he introduced me to Tim White. Yeah. Then I got a call from Tim White, and Tim said, "Okay, maybe let me help you press vinyls." And then no deals, and we're not signing anything. We're just gonna press some vinyls, and then you take it from there. You just go out and sell the stuff. But I helped many of these artists in my city just to create the bond and bridge the gap. But it was not something that some wanted because they felt if my province get empowered more, yeah, and then it's going to be a problem for them. They're not going to get business. So they wanted Kwaito to be a Joburg thing. Or I moved to Johannesburg. Yeah. They told me many times it was on different newspapers that Sandy P don't want to move to Durban. You don't want to move to Joburg. It's not going to make it. Wow. But I was like, someone has to be the light. Someone has to be the hope for the other artists to say, even if you're here without all these resources, something can happen. So I delayed my own progress as well while things were going faster in Joburg, just to make things happen in the city. So then after that, many artists really got motivated. There are even artists who have won Grammys and stuff like that. Some of them were my dancers, like Zex Bantwini was my dancer, yeah. Back in the days, many artists that I was like always there for them, just to uplift them, Yeah.
Sandy, who are some of your biggest music influences,
My biggest music influences,
if any, or do you have any? Growing up, maybe as an adult, who's someone that you can always turn to and be like?
Growing up, I hear, we are all listening to all those R&B, old school R&B and stuff like that. Yeah, I always loved like good singers of back in the days, like Freddie Jackson and all those kind of things, whom I actually got to. I just mentioned Freddie Jackson. I collaborated with him on stage last year. Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah.
And this is the R&B icon. Yeah, like.
Do people reach out to you to collaborate often? When you're touring, do you have people come up and be like, "Hey, let's do something together"?
Yes, definitely. Actually,
how do you approach that? Because obviously, collaboration is like, it can be a sacred thing, and you feel like you have to be aligned with that person as well.
Well, I'm very open-minded. I'm very open-minded. In the couple of past years, we've been trying to create the evolution of international Kwaito, since I move around a lot. Actually, there's a genre that we are trying to create around the world, which is called Bink music, which is Kwaito, but also in collaboration with international artists and producers. Because if you bring your stuff and you don't have the township background and the South African vibe, I mean, it might not be genuine Kwaito. So I bring these Kwaito elements, and then we're calling it Bink music.
Bink.
Yeah, there's a new record coming out now we're going to release it from Canada, but via...
Is that the new tune on your Spotify? Or is that something different?
There is something like that as well. Like there's
we should play
like
that
Suguma,
at some point as well.
Yeah, like Suguma did it in Berlin. It's doing quite good, and a few other songs. Yeah. So and everywhere I go, I always try to see if I can meet anyone. It doesn't have to be a big artist. With anyone, I mean, maybe if it's a small artist, maybe one day they'll be big. You know what I mean? So I'm not pick and choose. If you make music, you make music. So I always say, okay, let's put this together and let's see how it goes. I just put Sandy P vibe. You put what you put there. We know how it's gonna go. It might not work now. maybe it will work in the future. So yeah, so I collaborate a lot with people. Recently also I collaborated with Royshin Murphy.
Okay.
Bring it back, sing it back, bring it back, sing it back to me. Bring it back.
Sing it back.
That Royshin Murphy, yeah, we did. She asked me to do a remake of I'll play it in the concert. She asked me
Friday.
She asked me to do a remake of Time Is Now. Yeah, but we changed the lyrics here and there. Yeah, you'll hear it. So we did a collaboration. Her voice is there, my voice is there. We're gonna dance until the morning. The time is now. Yeah, we're gonna dance and
Do you
enjoy yourself until the. Let's make
keep doing it,
this
keep doing it.
moment. Let's everybody now. We're gonna dance until the morning. The time is when. The time is. Thank you. Something like that.
do you have a USB on you? Maybe now is a good opportunity to
Well, I can do one song, no problem.
play a
also.
tune of yours potentially.
Which
The
one?
audience who may not be
Well,
aware of your music.
but I'll have to sing it.
Can we tear that up, Xavier?
Just one, eh?
So everyone can
you
get a feel.
Start throwing some money here. No fish. I'm a hustler.
Quite.
Yeah, something. You know, I'm just starting the show.
Maybe something that you
Security,
will be
close the
performing
door
on
there.
Friday.
No one is coming out here without problem. No one is going to leave. Okay, now. Okay, let me see. No. Yeah, it's all good. Let's see, anyone. Let me see which one we can do.
How many USBs do you have?
This is my band. Okay, let's go. I'll take care of you. I am your friend. Zip bitches up. Zip bitches up. You are my friend. Just take care of me. I am your friend. I'll take care of you. You're allowed to move. Whatever you need, I'm there for you, my friend. Whatever you need, I'm there for you, my friend. Everybody stand up now. Yeah. Come on, sure. Zip bitches up. Zip bitches up. Your friend's my friend is your friend. Zip bitches up. Your friend's my friend is your friend. Zip bitches up. Let the blood go cool. What's Papi say? What's up? Now wait. Zoga and talk. Papi said ball. Do you have a bunch? You buy show you know the law. We'll be alright. Yamash. That's all. Okay. Everybody move there. Okay. Move. Sure. Come on. Zip bitches up. Come on. Zip bitches up. And your friend is my friend. Your friend is my friend. My friend is your friend. Zip bitches up. Me. Your friend. Zip, I've got your back. You've got my back. Sure. Come on. I've got your back. You've got
my back, my friend. Come on. Sure. Boka Batabala. Boka Batabala means everybody here. You'll try it. My friend. Boka Batabala. Boka Batabala. My friend. Your friend. Boka Batabala. You my friend. You my friend. You my friend. You my.
Yes. Give it up for Sandy B right now.
Let's try this one. Thank you guys.
I've never seen this room move like that for in conversation. So thank you.
Thanks.
Give it up for Sandy B one
Sandy
more
B.
time.
Thank you.
I think we can touch on your production process.
Okay.
With that tune, what was your approach? What were the hardware that you were making? Was that on the computer? What was going into it? What's the message with that tune?
With this song?
Yeah.
Okay, I did a song in Berlin. I was in the studio in Berlin with my friend. I met there Nick Kraft, and I just went there and then I played stuff and then.
It's oozing positivity. It's so happy.
Yeah, yeah. So I just played some stuff, but usually I'm not the kind of artist to write the lyrics first. Yeah, I'm always make the music first and then allow the music to give me some words. But as you say, your friend is my friend is your friend. This is like, I mean, most of us here are strangers, but maybe by the time we get out of here, we all know each other. When you bump on each other in the street, you're like, hey, I met you there. And that's how sometimes friendship starts. And also moving around a lot like this as well. Part of my journey is always about making new friends because sometimes, you book me in nice hotels for the shows and stuff like that. But there are times where I'm stuck. I know I'm going to the next place. And I get accommodated by friends, so like strange friends. That's our life, Hey, come and stay in my apartment and everything like this. So that's a kind of the attitude and mentality that I always like. I always say, I mean, if you come to my country, if you come to South Africa and you're stuck, and not even if you're stuck, you don't want to book a hotel, you come and stay at my place, no problem. You don't have to pay anything, well, should be like that. So even if I introduce you to another friend, if you guys click, carry on, be friends. See what you can do with your friendship. It can be about anything. There's a lot that you can achieve if you open your heart to people. So I've opened my heart to many strangers as well, and sometimes people tell me years later that just by saying, hey, meet so and so, maybe now they tell me they married, they have 3 children. Because I did that, or they had started a business together. I meet people maybe 15 years later who will be like, hey, Sandy, you don't know what you did. You remember those guys you introduced me to? Now we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing that. I'll be like, oh, yeah? And you never told me now you're even making money. And you don't call me, oh, this is how you are. Okay, but anyway, I'll keep on. So, yeah. So, such people who are like, you introduce them and then they get along very well. You know what I mean? And you'll be standing far. You'll be like, damn, those 5 people, they never knew each other.
but now they're having all the nice things. They're forgetting about me. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, that's
Awesome,
life.
awesome.
Yeah, that's life.
If you, Brenda Fassie, have you met Brenda Fassie?
Yes, I met Brenda Fassie. Not many times. I think about 3 times. Yeah, only. Yeah.
Like in terms of like the music industry, because the music industry has a bit of cruelty into it as well. Like we can, like Brenda Fassie sold out 60,000, 80,000 people, and the way she passed away and all those stuff. What do you think the youth from today can take from not falling into those traps where the artists were being exploited into just, like products instead of like being empowered? Like what is, I think Mosquito is doing the same. Once you sign to Kalawa, he kind of empowers you to buy a house. I think that's what he always says on his interview. So like, what do you think can help new guys that to be able to sustain themselves, like long-term wise?
I would say maybe people in our age group have, especially in South Africa, we have that also, as hard as it was, also we learned to sustain ourselves, whether there's something or there's nothing. You know what I mean? So the younger generation, they have everything in front of them. They just have everything. They have family support. Most of them, they can ask for new keyboard or computer, and it's bought for them. Everything is just there. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of discipline that I think is getting lost somewhere. People they've lost like the discipline, and also understanding that this is business at the end of the day. This is not just entertainment. There's a way that you have to carry yourself as an artist, and also you also have to remember that this is a career, this is a job. You know what I mean? So they need to spend time researching and learning more about how to run the business. If they can't, they must also know that there are people who are trained in doing stuff like accounting and everything else that you need, where you can just go and say, hey, I need assistance in this. Or if not, it's their friends that they go to school with who can put everything together and make it and make whatever they do sustainable and as a business. And also, personally, I always thought ahead. I never thought about achieving something now and that's it. You know, I always ran my race at my own pace, not following who's famous or what is trending at that time. And then just be true to yourself and believe in what you do. It might not be noticed right now, but somewhere, one day, somewhere in the world, someone will recognize that, man, that thing is happening. Or sometimes people force themselves into wrong markets, where when the world is so huge, there's close to 8 billion people already. I see this in South Africa now. Everyone is switching to the new trend of amapiano and forgetting about everything else. When there's so much good music in South Africa that the world needs to hear. Kwaito music was one of the genres that got just completely cut off because of the new trends. You know, I come from Durban. Yeah. Durban tried to come up with something called Durban Kwaito, trying to, and then it was gone, and then the radios started to cut everything off, and then everyone just thought, oh, okay, if we want to be a musician, let me just do amapiano, or let me do whatever that is trending at that time. You know what I mean? So I always say they must believe in what they do, and also know that their market is not might not be where they are. You know what I mean? So they just have to keep on going. Somewhere in the world is waiting to accept them and listen to them, just like how it happened with Amajovi Jovi album, and then how it happened with Sandy P music on the streams. I think it's one of the highest streamed Kwaito music on Spotify, compared to everyone else, so all these people have TV, radio, and everything else. So it's just a matter of just thinking ahead and don't think, okay, if you fail now, okay, that's it. Just keep on making good music until your time comes. Things don't happen overnight, you know what I mean? You have to work hard for it. Unfortunately, there's also a generation of spoiled people who just want quick things, and it's not easy. And when it doesn't happen, they get depressed, and they think they failed. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know if I answered the question.
You went above and beyond.
Yeah,
Sandy,
yeah,
you
yeah,
spoke about Amapiano, and over the last few years, I feel like there's been a lot of popularity around the genre.
Yes.
What's your view on it, and how do you see the genre moving forward?
It's a good thing, It's I love it. I love that South Africa has also managed to create a genre that spread out to the world like this. Also, it happened in the right time when technology can make you an international star easily. You know what I mean? Music can spread out easily, but I still feel that people missed out a lot about the 90s sound of music, because none of these things, of these tools were there. Some of the artists have gone, they've died, some they've quit music, some have switched to these new genres. So that's why I was like, what, someone needs to give the world the taste of what happened in the 90s. As I see it now, I see even the guys in the Kwaito music, like the old guys who were there back in the days, they're also trying to dust themselves up now. They say, "Oh, Sandy B, yeah, he's moving," So it's good in a way, but also I think the Amapiano producers and artists need to think beyond this. The shameful thing that I see about my country is when there is a street like this here full of entertainment areas, and each one you go to, they're playing the same kind of music, when there's such a huge variety of good music in South Africa and in the world. You know what I mean? So it doesn't grow some of the producers, because they just get stuck in this sound, and then what happens if it dies out at some point? How are they going to move forward? You know what I mean? So I really appreciate and love what is happening. And also, as we all know, that most of the genres that are coming now, that came after 1994, most of them, they were all influenced by Kwaito. Yeah, they're all the
And I feel like
evolution
Kwaito music, there's a lot more different influences that go into the sound.
Yeah,
Hip hop, R&B, house.
yeah.
Amapiano feels a bit more one-dimensional, maybe, or the influences a bit more limited.
Yeah, but it's one more. Yeah, also, like you say, I think it's. Man, I don't know. Maybe let's bring on my piano artists. They must talk for themselves. Let me talk about it. But I really get worried in that sense that I mean, guys need to listen to other types of music. When I listen to music, I just put any playlist. Just put music on Spotify, and I always discover new sounds, and I'm like, oh damn, there's good music here. There's artists that you can make music with from other parts of the world. There's just a lot that people need to explore. But the younger generation, as I say, I'm a little bit worried that they're getting stuck in this, because they think this is going to last forever. Yeah, it might last forever. It's not a problem, but they need to open their ears to more music. DJs in South Africa, most of the time, it's like the same. You go to, you'll hear the same song, 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 and then that gets you to go home earlier sometimes. You have some drinks there, you're like, okay, let me have two more there, but I'll want something else. Then you go there, and then the DJs play the same thing, and then like, okay. I'm going, then you go to the next one, and then you're like, let me just go home. You know what I mean?
Is,
You know?
is there
So
any younger generation back home in South Africa who are pushing Kwaito, or some of the 90s?
I'm the younger generation.
Tell us,
Well-
tell us some young producers to look out for. If anyone in the audience is,
I'm
want
the
to go
young-
home and do some research.
I'm the young producer.
You're that. You are. You're
No,
him.
there's quite a few guys that I can think of. There's another guy who's really underrated because of the politics in the industry as well. His name is Dust. I've done some stuff with him. Dust, a lot of stuff with him since many years. But he's also underrated because there's just a lot of gatekeeping going on. You know what I mean? Everyone fighting for the same thing. So it's just been happening, and I just don't want to be so much part of that. I mean, I've had many artists, but there are many good producers that are suppressed by the politics of the industry, where I'll make a good song, and then and then you're not going to tell people who produce it because you don't want people to come to me for the same vibe. You know what I mean? And then there's just so many things going on that really somehow suppress good talent by the guys who are able to bribe the radios, bribe the TVs, and all those kind of things. So they do a lot of gatekeeping, which is really unnecessary, and it's also making it difficult for many artists who do others good stuff to get out there, until they get noticed maybe by the outside world with people with open mind, and and then they start moving out, So yeah, but there's just so many good producers that I can think of. If anyone wants to do a song with a producer in South Africa, just give me a shout. I'll say, okay, this one is good. Yeah, this one is, yeah.
Cool.
And in terms of like the language, obviously you're from KZN, I'm from Jozi or Pitori. I speak Setswana, you speak Zulu. I go to Zululand, I speak Setswana. No one is gonna speak to me. Do you think that tribalism in South Africa still exists?
It exists. It exists, and it's visible, but it's also, these barriers are also created by the new politics, where people think if this party member, it's okay. If you're Zulu, this party is, it does exist in a way, so much that when we talk about music, you hardly hear artists, good artists, very good artists that are even known outside South Africa. You hardly hear their music playing in maybe KZN radios, or KZN artists hardly go to Pretoria or Limpopo or something like that, and everyone is trying to protect their territory. There's not so much of collaborations going on within South African artists, and they're missing out a lot in terms of expansion when it comes to that, because everyone is trying to protect their boundaries as well, with the language, with the culture, and everything else. That's why there was also something called Durban Kwaito. You remember Durban Kwaito from 1996 onwards, and I always once you start localizing it like that, then it's a problem. The sound, it's the evolution of Kwaito. Maybe if you don't mind, you can they could just give it a new name altogether, because when you say Durban Kwaito, it pisses people, Joburg guys off. Oh, now you have Durban Kwaito. Okay, stay there, do your Durban Kwaito there. You know what I mean? We created this thing, but now you have your own thing. So I always said, like Maskandi music as well. It's like it divides people when they should be working together and be making music that can be good for everyone. Like Makanzi is a very good artist, and she's doing very well, but I think she has only played in Durban maybe less than 3 times. Wow. She's from Limpopo, and they do very good music. I like music from up that side, you know. But when guys like the guys of Gqom and Durban, Kwaito, or whatever, wants to go and play in the Limpopo, they always say, "You play your thing down there," you know what I mean. So there's not so much of interaction of that sort because of maybe a bit of tribalism and localized kind of politics where you say, I'm from Durban, you are not going to bring the artist from Limpopo to come and play here when the Durban artist is sitting and not doing anything. You know what I mean? Rather employ Durban artists, you know, those kind of things. So the exchange of ideas get limited, the exchange of it bothers me a lot, you know. Yeah, it bothers me a lot when people should be just collaborating and making music with everyone, you know, and be everywhere.
Yeah, okay. And what's one thing that when you leave Durban, you look back, you're like, oh man, like this is, you know, like I'm looking for, like obviously you're from Durban and like we said, Durban, Joburg is different. And when you go abroad, what's one thing that's, like right now, what do you miss about SA? Like what's one thing that...
Prices of stuff. Prices of stuff. Otherwise, and then, yeah, well, our country, because of the background and politics and stuff like that, there's so much of inequality that also creates some other social ills where people try to find survival in many ways, including stuff that harms other people, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm not really comfortable with that when it comes to my country. Yeah, I want everyone to be free. I want you to leave the club at 1 a.m. and walk home without any issues, you know, without being judged who you are, how you look, and, you know, those the things that were created by the past. People are trying to get it right, but also because I don't know who's here, but I don't want to talk bad about the people who are in power. But you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah, the corruption and kind of thing where you know, there's just many things that when good people want to carry on and do good things, and then the top guys do their own thing, you know what I mean? And then the other people are like, they are doing it too. So, you know what I mean? So it makes we have a very beautiful country. Yeah. Beautiful country, beautiful people. You know, you can jump in a taxi, someone will start a conversation with you in a taxi, train, they can help you with whatever. But there's also some issues that we really need to deal with. And unfortunately, it's people are getting it, they want to get it right, but also there's also a very big community that really don't care, you know what I mean? So it makes it really difficult. But anyway, we have a beautiful country, you know. I won't lie to you, it's a very nice country. I travel around the world and I know that every country has its own problem. I can't say going to live in somewhere in Europe or Australia, everything is going to be fine. There's something that is going to make me scratch my head sometime and miss home. There are countries where everything is functioning, everything is in order. People are free, and you know, but people are just tight. You can't have a conversation with someone. You know, you can ask for direction. They just don't want to speak sometimes. You know, or they want to speak. They speak in a language that you don't understand. You go to the shop, you want to buy a lotion, and then you end up with mayonnaise all over your body. You're like, oh fuck, what is this? You take a translator who says, oh, whatever, mayonnaise. And you've been using this thing for the past 3 days. You wonder why people think you're so sweet. Like, oh, every time you say something, oh, you're so sweet. Or maybe it's the smell of the mayonnaise, actually, because everything is written in a foreign language, you know. So there are many challenges that when you go out and say, okay, now it's fine, but you like, I miss home. You know what I mean? I miss home for this, as bad as it can be. But also South Africa can teach you to be vigilant. You can survive anywhere. I go to places like I travel by myself and work with people in each country. So I always say I just go everywhere. Sometimes people say, no, let's not go that side. That place is rough. I'm like, what rough? You know, let's go. That's where we're going there. Oh, don't go there. Don't go there. It's people there. I like that. I'm like, okay, that's why I'm gonna go. Yeah, maybe I'm going to change one person inside because they won't be expecting someone like me there. But if I'm there, someone might say, oh, okay, you know. So South Africa also teaches you survival skills. You survive in many ways. You know what I mean? Yeah, you learn to survive. We are cool people. You know what I mean? We just need to fix a few things here and there. You know? Yeah.
Sandy, if you were to give your younger self advice as an adult, what would it be?
If I have to
Give your younger self advice
younger self
as
advice.
an adult, what would it be?
I would say, what advice would I give myself? Because I would say, keep on being who you are. You know, people will break you sometimes. Sometimes people will be negative and whatever. You know, just be who you are. Just you know. Just be who you are. You'll never know. I mean, we all here temporarily. We're gonna go at some point. The least that we can do, the least that I can do for myself, no matter how hard the situations are, is to try and either I'm alone in my place, or when I go out to be with positive people. So I like what I do right now at the moment because it gives me that. It also gives NDB that family that I never had. You know, I know that whenever I go to different audiences, there's also people who are lonely, who have no one, who are separated from their families somehow, you know what I mean? So it's always about saying, you know what, let's just live, let's be positive, let's be fun. But I also miss a lot of things. You know, touring like this, you don't have a girlfriend.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
You know, you don't have you're just always on the road. Even if you want to have a partner, sometimes they don't trust you. They think maybe, oh, you're always surrounded by girls. Oh, you said to be. I'm like, oh, no, it doesn't work like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, doing this can also be lonely because you're surrounded by a lot of people having fun and everything else, and then the next day everyone just goes to their lives, and then you're just all by yourself in a foreign country, no one to talk to or something like this, and you're just waiting to go somewhere else, you know. And our country at the moment don't have much to offer some of us. I've never been the person who, personally, I've never been the person who has been offered anything like from the arts and culture. I never even went there to ask for help because you have to align yourself to some politics and all those kind of things that you have to end up endorsing ideas that are also suppressive to people, that are bad to people, in order to get funded for things, you know. So I've never even. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like a foreigner in South Africa, like a refugee in South Africa. You know, I don't even think at all, you know, because of just asking people for help, even if I know I need help. My tours are DIY. I always have to save up some money to buy plane tickets to wherever they call me in America. I must know that I have tickets going and coming back, that is sorted, and then the rest is, well, like you guys are taking care of it right now, but I'll always try to find a way to depend on because in South Africa, if they offer you something, then you have to be hooked to some stuff that is not really you, which might be something that messes people up and messing the country up as well, just because you have to sell some people's ideologies that that maybe, you know, that are not what you really are from you know. I don't know if it's understood.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone feels
It's nice
that.
when I talk like this, and then people, most of the people, maybe they don't even speak English. So I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good.
A few English speakers here.
I'm doing good. Yeah. No, I'm joking. So good.
Obviously, music is such an integral part of your life. Who is Sandy B away from music and behind closed doors? What are some of the activities or day-to-day things that you like to enjoy that people might, you know, not know?
Day-to-day activities.
Do you do car racing? You know,
No, I used to do
you
kung
play
fu.
sport?
I used to do kung fu as
Yeah.
But now I'm really rusty. The
Okay.
only thing that I can do, if you want to fight me, I just make you decide if you want us to go on with this. I'll be like, you know, and then you like,
Do you practice
what's
yoga?
next? You know, but if you can really start to fight, I'll be like, hey, hold on. hold on. Yeah, but that was my sport. But yeah,
Video games? Not so much.
No, I read stuff, man,
Read,
about
yeah.
the world. But what is happening around the world? I also want to change and educate people about stuff that they're never exposed to. There are a lot of things going on around the world that even my country is not doing much in educating people about this climate change issues. There's this and that, you know. So I check things out, and then try to educate people about even my experiences around wherever I go, so that people can have a different image about the world. You know what I mean? You know, when people talk in South Africa, you know, they think every white man belongs to Europe. They think every white man belongs to, you know, they don't know about the politics of the world, how things are. You know, when people speak about racism, some people think about something that has to do only between black people and white people. You know, they don't know that there's a lot of history that is going on in other countries which sometimes really don't even affect us, where as a black person, you are even better, you know, to be there, because their history is something else. So I teach people about all these things so that they can appreciate their country. They can appreciate also living with everyone else who is in the country without judging people because of the skin color and politics. Not everyone is the oppressor. Not everyone is racist. Not everyone is someone that you look at and say, but you're black. No, we it's not like that. We're just human. You know, we're just humans. You know, we need to look at things differently so that we are able to build the beautiful country that we have as a diverse country, and appreciate it. You know, because as I said, we have a very beautiful country. So I read a lot of things, and I learn a lot from my travels, and try and teach people. So that's where I am most of the time. You know, in terms of sports, no, it's not much. I just go to gym. Oh, last week I went for a marathon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On Tuesday I ran my second marathon ever.
Congratulations.
Yeah, ever. My first one, and I got a medal.
Big up.
And I got a medal. Yeah. My first one was in 2014. And on Tuesday, before I started my tour, I saw they were registering for this charity marathon, which was 10 kilometers. I said, oh, okay, let me register. That will be my training for the tour. Damn.
Yeah, cool. Nice.
Tuesday, Wednesday, I got a medal. There was 5,000 people, so I finished on time. Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it again so that I don't mess up with, doesn't mess this record. So yeah. So I did that one. Well, maybe I'll do Comrades Marathon soon. Yeah, I'll do Comrades Marathon. Yeah. I'm very spontaneous.
So you're
maybe
active.
I'll do bungee jumping. I'll do skydiving at some point.
And performing, when you're performing, you're very immersive. You're very sort of engaging, interactive. I feel like you'd cover a bit of territory.
Yeah, you know, my friend, you know, my set is like, how many songs? Like,
That ladder that we're trying to get for you on Friday night.
come again?
The ladder. You're going to be doing some workouts on that.
Yeah, I'm doing some somersaults as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing some somersaults. We have enough space there.
Pardon?
Is there enough space to do?
Yeah,
like,
there'll be enough space.
is it
Yeah, for sure. We'll make space for you for sure.
like how big?
As big as you want. Whatever your request is, we'll fulfill it.
Okay. But I charge extra for that.
Oh,
Yeah, no, yeah. So yeah, we'll have. I think we are going to have fun on Friday.
yeah.
Yeah, we are going to
sure.
have fun. You know, yeah. I know. I can see if you're all going to be there.
Yeah, if
I
anyone's
know
not
already
aware.
I know already that there'll be very good people who like to party. Sandy B, we love to party.